On Christmas Eve, the team decided to hold a party in the office. There were not many employees, so they only needed to set the table in the conference room, and they could dance in the hallway. During the whole week, the female half of the team decorated the office with balloons, paper snowflakes, and garlands. Men brought and installed the Christmas tree and bought alcohol, fruit cakes, and gifts. In general, everyone was busy organizing the party. Tiffany worked in the accounting department, so she didn't take part in decorating the office. She worked on the annual report, calculated bonuses and salaries, went to the bank, and managed the funds for the party. Norman worked as a manager and was involved in organizing the party. They hardly saw each other at work and only met at home in the evening. They were not married but had been living together for 2 years in a rented apartment. Tiffany hoped that this Christmas he would propose to her. When she wondered why Norman was coming home so late, he smiled mysteriously, saying he was preparing an extraordinary gift for her. Tiffany's heart was beating happily in anticipation of the long-awaited moment. Starting the year with a marriage proposal, creating a family was like starting a new life. Christmas was only a few days away. In the morning, everyone was finishing urgent tasks. In general, everyone was busy with important things, but they could already feel the holiday approaching. Finally, in the evening, the company CEO, Thomas, announced that in 5 minutes, everyone should be in the conference room. The holiday table was nicely decorated, the Christmas tree was sparkling, and well-dressed employees were coming into the room. When everyone was there, Thomas asked them to fill their glasses with champagne. He stood up and made a short speech on the results of the year, plans for the future, and announced a salary increase for some employees, in addition to a bonus for everyone. Loud applause and joyful shouts merged with the sound of champagne corks popping, and women squealing, "Here comes Santa Claus, Merry Christmas." A tall and young Santa with a long white beard, red cheeks, and nose, dressed in a red coat and hat, said loudly. The music started to play, and the entertainment program began. Tiffany smiled too and couldn't remember where she knew that voice from. Although the artist had lowered his voice to bass, she had definitely heard it before. His eyes were hidden beneath his fake fluffy eyebrows. Tiffany couldn't see his face. Fun music was playing. There were fun contests, laughter, and dancing. The alcohol relaxed her mind and made her feel good and carefree. Tiffany plunged into the fun. When there was a short pause so that everyone could take a break from dancing and eat something, she noticed that she didn't see Norman anywhere. She didn't see him at the table or near the Christmas tree or even in the hallway. Tiffany decided to find her beloved. She reached the stairs to the restroom and was about to return when suddenly she heard a low moan from below the stairs. It was not a moan of pain but of pleasure. Tiffany silently walked down the stairs, then she stopped, leaned over the railing, and peered under the stairs. She immediately pulled back. Her heart raced so hard that it felt like it was about to pierce her chest. She had only watched it for a second, but now that scene flashed before her eyes in slow motion like it was a frame from a movie. There was Norman. He was standing with his back to the stairs. His jacket was on the floor. He moved slowly, pressing some girl against the wall, and her red dress was pulled up to her waist. Black curls fell over her face, but Tiffany already knew it was Tracy, the CEO's assistant. The girl pressed her back against the wall and froze. The scene of the betrayal flashed before her eyes again and again. Her heart was pounding, and her thoughts were confused. Tracy's long moan sounded, and Tiffany came to her senses. She walked upstairs, stepping on the toes of her shoes to keep her heels from clacking. There was laughter coming from the hallway, music, a few people were dancing in the hallway. Tiffany entered the locker room, put off her high-heel shoes, put on her boots, and walked down the main stairs. The door slammed shut behind Tiffany. The night was frosty, snowflakes were falling slowly. The streets glittered with the lights of Christmas trees, store windows, and garlands. People hurried home with bags of gifts bought for family, friends, and loved ones. Tiffany walked slowly through the city. Everything collapsed in just a moment. the holiday, the mood, the expectation of happiness or family. She began to freeze. The champagne didn't work anymore. She put the hood of her fur coat over her head and immediately shielded herself from all the lights. She wandered through the night city, occasionally looking up to see where she was. Tiffany didn't immediately realize that a car had stopped by the sidewalk, had honked at her. Tiffany stopped. She was alone in a terrible condition in the middle of an empty city at night. She was about to run, but then Santa Claus got out of the car, or rather, someone dressed as Santa Claus. The red coat was still there, but the hat and beard were gone. This guy looked funny and silly with his fluffy white eyebrows and mustache, and Tiffany smiled, and then she laughed and couldn't stop until tears came out of her eyes. The young man laughed at first too, but stopped when he saw that Tiffany had tears in her eyes. "Get in, please. I'll take you wherever you say." Tiffany was so tired and freezing that she got into the car. She warmed up and began to calm down. Finally, she felt better. The young man turned the mirror toward her, and Tiffany was horrified at her appearance. Black mascara was smeared across her cheeks. "Why didn't you take off your beard and eyebrows?" she asked, trying to wipe the mascara off her face. The man opened the glove compartment, pulled out a pack of paper tissues, and offered them to the girl. Tiffany thanked him and began to clean herself up. "Are you feeling better yet? I need a special solution to get my eyebrows and mustache off. If I try to just tear them off, it will hurt, and I might lose my real eyebrows. I'll come home and remove it." "So, where do you want me to take you?" he asked. Tiffany, who had finally calmed down, excused herself. "I can't remember where I know your voice from, but I don't know you." "Wait a second," he said, and after a pause, he continued, "Dear audience, welcome back to Love Radio. I'm on the air with you today, your favorite radio host, Alex." Tiffany laughed. "I remember," she said, "and what's your real name? And why were you playing Santa Claus at our party today?" "Today it's a pseudonym, my real name is." At that moment, Tiffany saw an SUV racing toward them at a frantic speed, skidding into the oncoming lane. Alex hit the brakes and twisted the steering wheel, but they couldn't avoid the crash. The girl covered her face with her hands and screamed. She didn't hear or see the crash. The beeping sound was too loud. It pulled Tiffany out of her short-term blackout. She saw Alex lying on the steering wheel, still with that ridiculous eyebrows and mustache. Blood was dripping from the corner of his mouth. A man ran out of the SUV. He tried to open the car door, but no luck. He pulled out his cell phone and said something. Tiffany saw it all, like a silent movie. She was deafened by the incessant sound, irritating her nerves. She moved her legs and arms, and everything seemed fine. Then she unbuckled her seatbelt and struggled to push Alex's heavy body back against the back of the seat. The sound of the honking car stopped, and Tiffany heard a groan. She said happily, "Thank God you're alive. We need an ambulance." She thought she was shouting, but in fact, the words sounded only in her mind. A police car was rushing toward them. They managed to open the door on Tiffany's side, helped her out, then pulled Alex out, put him on a stretcher, and took him to the hospital. The hit was on the driver's side. In the hospital emergency room, a police officer recorded Tiffany's testimony. After her wounds and scratches were treated, they gave Tiffany a sedative and told her to stay at the hospital until morning while Alex was taken to the operating room with multiple bruises and fractures. What a terrible day. I was expecting a miracle and happiness this morning. I'm so stupid. There are no miracles in this world. Why, Lord, why? Tiffany was standing at the window. Everything inside her was screaming, outraged at what had happened. It was snowing outside. It was beautiful, except it was heavy on her soul because of betrayal, pain, injustice, and resentment. Tiffany didn't know if she would ever get out of this mess. The medication began to take effect, and she fell asleep. In the morning, they let her go home, but where was her home? She didn't want to see Norman, but there was no way to avoid the conversation. Tiffany was walking down the hall and met the doctor who examined them yesterday. He said the young man she had been in the accident with was doing well. "Can I see him?" Tiffany asked, not really understanding why. "Yes, but a little later. He's in intensive care now. He'll be transferred to a regular ward soon, and then you can see him." "Then I'll wait here," and Tiffany sat down in a chair in the hallway. 2 hours later, nurses rolled the gurney with Alex on it. He tried to smile at Tiffany but failed. "I'll come to see you tomorrow," Tiffany said. Tiffany walked out of the hospital. The snow sparkled in the daylight and crunched under her feet. The events of the previous night had changed the way she felt about Norman. "Just don't cry. He will beg for forgiveness." "But I can't forgive him. I have to be strong. He's a man, and he cheated on me, so he should leave, not me." "What about work?" "I can't see him, but I'll think about it later," she decided. She closed her eyes as she got into the cab. The sedative was still working. Tiffany opened the door to the apartment, and Norman immediately ran out to meet her. "Where have you been all this time?" "I've called every hospital, all of them," Tiffany asked calmly, taking off her boots. "That's strange. They didn't tell me someone was looking for me." She walked into the room and sat on the couch. "You were at the hospital?" Norman sat down next to her without looking her in the eye. "Yeah, I took a cab to go home yesterday, but we got hit by an SUV." She flipped back her hair, showing the wound on her forehead. "So if you would really call the hospital, they would have told you I spent the night there." "Okay, well, I didn't call, but I was worried. I didn't know what to do, seriously." "And yesterday, under the stairs, with Tracy, you knew what to do," Tiffany grinded. "I'm sorry. I don't know how it happened. I was drunk. She took me there herself and started it. She almost attacked me." Norman tried to excuse himself in an apologetic tone. "How am I supposed to live with you now? Some other attractive bro will attack you, and you'll cheat again. I can't trust you. Just go away. Pack up and go away." "Go where?" Norman hadn't expected the shy and quiet Tiffany to say such determined and sharp words. He thought she was convenient, quiet, undemanding, and obedient, and she turned out to be stronger than he'd expected. "Wherever you want to go, to Tracy or anyone else, just leave, all right?" "I'll leave. I'm happy it turned out this way. I'm tired. I'm bored with you. It's your own fault." He locked himself in the bedroom. Tiffany laid on the couch and stared at the Christmas tree. She could barely hold back from crying because of the hurtful words. They had decorated the Christmas tree together 2 days ago, laughing and making plans, but it all collapsed in just one night. "I'll pick up the rest of my stuff later," Norman said as he walked out of the bedroom with his suitcase. He slowly put on his jacket, then his boots, cleaned his boots with a wet tissue, then looked in the mirror, hoping Tiffany would change her mind and stop him, but she didn't even turn her head. She only flinched when the front door slammed shut. Why do people say so many words about love, persuade, make promises, and then when feelings cool down, they just slam the door and walk away? Tiffany cried and fell asleep without changing her clothes. She woke up in the evening, took off her dress, and threw it in the trash. She'd never wear it again anyway. It's better to get rid of things associated with bad memories. The next morning, she got up, calm and refreshed. She only had a slight headache. She made soup and went to the hospital. Alex was happy to see Tiffany. He looked much better already. "Haven't had homemade chicken soup for ages," he said when he saw the jar the girl had put on the nightstand by the bed. Tiffany was supporting Alex's head, helping him eat. "Your appetite is good, which means you'll get better soon. By the way, you are about to tell me your real name." "Oh right, Alex is short for Alexandros, and I'll answer your other questions right away. I'm an artist. I work as a radio host, and during the Christmas holidays, I work at parties. It actually brings me good money. I'm saving up to buy an apartment." "Okay, now it's your turn to tell me about yourself." "My name is..." No, tell me why you escaped from the party." Tiffany told the whole story. Suddenly, the door to the room opened, and a tall, gorgeous brunette who looked like a fashion model walked in, or rather, floated, covered in a cloud of expensive perfume. Tiffany could only dream of such perfume. She rushed over to Alex and kissed him on the lips, ignoring Tiffany. "Don't, Nikki, we're not alone." Alex looked at Tiffany with embarrassment. "Fans of your attractive voice have found you even here." She looked at Tiffany arrogantly and unfriendly. "No, she's not a fan. She was in the car with me when the accident happened." Alex tried to stand up for Tiffany. "Oh, really?" Nikki wanted to say something else, but then Tiffany stood up. "I should go, goodbye." When she left, Alex looked at Nikki. "What the hell are you doing? Why did you pretend to be my girlfriend? We broke up." "Come on, don't worry, she'll come back if she loves you." "What are you talking about? We just met yesterday. I was driving her home and she accidentally brought you your favorite soup," Nikki continued. "Okay, I'm sorry. I think I should go too. Feel well." Tiffany spent Christmas alone in front of the TV. She had a glass of champagne, then another, and fell asleep quickly. In the morning, she went to the hospital to see Alex. It was sad to spend Christmas alone. "I can only imagine what it was like to spend Christmas in the hospital," she sympathized. "Thank you for visiting me. I'd like to explain Nikki's behavior." "Don't," Tiffany interrupted. "Don't say anything. You really do have a very attractive voice." Alex raised an eyebrow in surprise. "I'm sorry, but I overheard your conversation after I left," Tiffany apologized. "Just tell me, are you feeling better now?" "Yeah, I'm getting better every day. And when you come to visit me, I don't have any pain at all. As soon as I start walking, I'll be back on the radio." After the Christmas holidays, Tiffany came into Thomas's office and placed her resignation letter on his desk. He put on his sunglasses, read it, and put the paper aside. "I know the reason you're going to quit. You're a good accountant, I can trust you, but I can't trust the manager and the assistant. So, I suggest you stay. It's harder to find a good accountant than a manager. By the way, Daniel will be my new assistant. Keep working, and I'll take care of the rest." "Thank you, Thomas." Tiffany happily headed to her workplace. The work routine began. Tiffany got home late every day. She didn't have the energy to go to the hospital. Besides, Alex was getting much better. Why didn't I get his phone number? I could have called him, she thought. I'll go to the hospital this weekend. On Sunday, she took the bus to the hospital. There were very few passengers. The driver's radio was on. "Dear friends, this is Love Radio, and I'm Tiffany." She went to the driver's cabin and asked him to turn up the volume. The casual chatter was interspersed with music. "It's been a long time since you've heard my voice on the air. Did you miss me? I've gone into an accident with a very pretty girl. I would like to order a song for her. Tiffany, I'll find you, and don't forget to make your loved ones happy with Love Radio. Order songs for them by calling." "Stop!" Tiffany shouted to the driver. She hopped off the bus and dialed the radio. "Hello, do you want to order a song? Introduce yourself and tell us who you are ordering a song for. Don't worry, we are taking notes of all your wishes, and your message will go live," a female voice answered. "Alex, this is Tiffany. Thank you for the song. I'll be waiting for you tonight at 8 p.m. at the place where we had the accident. Christmas miracles happen if you believe and go towards them. It doesn't always happen immediately, but you have to prepare for miracles. When you let go of the negative things, offenses, and outdated relationships, new ones will surely replace them. And may everything be well in your life." Thank you for joining us today on Deep Stories. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video.